Hi everyone and welcome to a new video about FTX.com exchange, about the Alameda Research, about SBF, which is Sam Bankman-Fried, about arbitrage and liquidity provision, and why you shouldn't buy the 3x bull bear ERC20 token, which are now being listed on a lot of exchanges including Binance. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please look at the links below, which will save you money on trading fees, and you can find some free money there as well. So it will be an interesting story. It's a massive success story, and hats off for Sam for pulling this all off. He's just 27 and he has achieved a lot. So he has opened Alameda Research in 2017, I believe. And it's a misleading name for a prop shop, for a proprietary trading firm, or actually a liquidity provision firm. And their goal is to make money from inefficiencies in the market. So they are executing trades which are supposed to always win. I should not forget to shill my link. At the bottom in the description below, you'll find a 5% discount link for trading fees on FTX.com. So, since 2017, Sam and his team have been finding inefficiencies in the markets and exploiting them. So, if they find that price on one exchange is too low and the price on another, they are just capturing this discrepancy. So even on this very simple Clark Moody website, you can see that there are some differences between the prices. I will bring up the Austerity Sachs website, which is the website by Swapman, and it shows the exchange premiums, and you can see that even this isn't very efficient. So you can sell Huobi, you can buy, in this case backed, and make pretty much risk-free money. And although I am not very familiar with Alameda Research, I'll give you my understanding on what they're doing. So they were finding these inefficiencies and they were just multiplying their holdings by buying and selling, trying to be non-directional. And there were plenty of these inefficiencies, and I believe they have made large amounts of money by exploiting these inefficiencies. Sam and his team, they had the balls to deposit on each of these exchanges, to transfer massive amounts of funds using traditional banks, and this has certainly raised eyebrows, and they had some problems with, I think, Bank of America. As always in crypto, there are these issues, but it looks like they were very successful. I believe they have made massive amounts of coins, and as everyone making huge amount of money, they were just sitting quiet, hiding under the rock. But then at some point they decided to start becoming public, probably for a few reasons. So I think the reason number one is that a lot of companies started entering the crypto space, and they were starting to join the party and exploiting the inefficiencies in the market. So, buying a futures contract which is too cheap, or selling a futures contract, maybe selling a futures contract, buying spot in the cheapest place on the market. There are a lot of these inefficiencies that can be easily exploited, and when you automate it all, then you are left with only supervising the machines. Sam describes himself and his team as a team of DJs who are just orchestrating computers doing all the trading. So 99% of trading is being done by computers, and Sam is just out there checking what the computers are doing. And I can actually bring up a video of Sam doing it all, and this is quite an interesting video where Sam talks about the event when Binance had a 2% discount due to a large seller. So someone came to Binance and sold large amount of coins, and you can see him at his computer with plenty of screens. I believe on one screen, I think these screens are uncovered later on at some point, and I believe that on some screens they are just looking at the interfaces of the exchanges just to make sure as a sanity check that what they're doing is sane, is normal, that the computers are not going bonkers and capturing inefficiencies which don't exist, because it is quite common in crypto that the APIs providing you with the data are completely wrong. So they are just supervising, making sure that what they see in their system, which is connected to the APIs, is the true state of the exchange. So their automated system takes all the API calls, all the API information, and processes it themselves, and they are finding the exchanges where the BTC is the cheapest, finding where it's most expensive, and they are just executing trades and moving collateral around until the inefficiency disappears. And in case of Binance and USDT, it doesn't have to be a one-off trade. They can just deposit some USDT on Binance, buy a lot, then withdraw, sell a lot on Bitfinex, and then just keep repeating, rinse and repeat until the inefficiency disappears. And I believe this is what they have been doing, and they have done particularly well. So why did they go public? I think more and more people were doing this, and the margins that they were getting from capturing such inefficiencies were getting smaller and smaller. Also, doing this liquidity provision means that they are on each major exchange and they have access to a lot of liquidity. That means that they are perfectly positioned to run an OTC desk, which is over-the-counter trading. That means if you want to buy like $10 million of Bitcoin, you don't go to a single exchange. You go to an OTC desk, and the OTC desk charges you a hefty fee, but it's still profitable to use them rather than to go to a random exchange and do it on that single exchange. So what the OTC desk does, it most likely goes to a derivatives exchange and just hedges there, and then slowly offloads their position into what they're comfortable with. It's actually funny how some OTC desks in US are not allowed to use Bitmex, and they were forced to operate on spot exchanges which have massive trading fees. So they were spending a lot of money to hedge on these exchanges. Obviously, Sam operates from Asia, so he's not constrained, so he's able to hedge on Bitmex, and it's very important because this is the most liquid marketplace in crypto. So they have spotted an opportunity to transition, to kind of develop the new OTC desk, and rather than advertising, they have, I believe they've had a few accounts on Bitmex, and some of them just randomly generated a lot of profits, because when they are doing a multi-legged trade, the one account is gaining a lot of money, the other account is losing a lot of money, and because they have several accounts, some of them will be in the leaderboard. So they have just changed their name and made it public, and that we can go to the leaderboard actually. And here we go. So they have some accounts with large notional, so that's Alameda Research. And they have another one. Here we go. So 5,000 BTC in pure profit. Now, it's not them gambling there, going long and short and being absolutely right every time. It's them, let's say, going long on Bitmex, or Bitmex usually has a premium, so going short on Bitmex in 2018 and then going long on spot exchanges like ZB.com. They were losing money on ZB, they were gaining money on Bitmex, and their overall portfolio was, well, maybe just gaining 8,000 XBT from from capturing the inefficiencies. But overall, I believe they have made way more than 5,000 Bitcoin. So yeah, looking at these, it's hard not to notice that they are serious players, that they are doing decent volume, and that they are not like consistently losing money, which is good. So they have started the OTC desk, and because they're connected to all these exchanges, when someone comes to them, they are very well positioned to execute to hedge it, to execute a counter trade to whatever they are doing themselves as the OTC desk. Also, they had problems with exchanges. They were connected to each of the exchanges. A lot of stuff was automatic. These exchanges are poorly documented. These exchanges have some serious flaws and faults. Each of them is designed differently. The APIs are completely different. They are running things in different ways. They are margining things, marking things to different values, and it's very difficult to run an operation like Sam is running. And they thought they were providing a lot of feedback to these companies, to these exchanges, and the exchanges just were not taking their feedbacks. They have even introduced some white papers to them showing what to do to improve it, and the exchanges were just not listening. This is why they have started their own exchange, which is FTX, and I think this was a brilliant decision. They have made a really good exchange, and they are also perfectly positioned to start an exchange like this because they are liquidity providers, and they can provide massive liquidity on their exchange. So let's look at the liquidity. Fine, let's find it the other way. Volume monitor. So you can see that although the volume is not that high, do they have liquidity? No. So their liquidity is actually better than their volume. They, as a massive OTC desk and a massive liquidity provider, they can provide massive amounts of liquidity on their exchange, and this is just encouraging people to trade at their exchange and luring more and more customers. And I think they are in a very good position to be a big contender to Bitmex. Obviously this OKEX volume is fake. Oh, they have did they adjust the volume, reported volume spot? No, they didn't adjust the volume. But Huobi is probably exaggerated a bit as well, and Binance probably is exaggerated as well. Bitmex is the single most liquid place in crypto, and I wouldn't trust Huobi saying that they are doing more than twice more than Bitmex. So FTX actually has massive volume and massive liquidity, and they have done an excellent job. Why is liquidity and volume important? That means that big players can execute trades cheaply there, which is great. So they are providing liquidity on their own exchange. Now this has some ethical issues because they are trading against their customers. I think they are reasonable. I think it's all right, but it is a red flag. That the exchange is trading on their own venue, but it's the same in the case of Bitmex. Bitmex also has their own internal market making desk. So what's great about the FTX? Massive volume and liquidity. What else is good? The fees are quite all right. They don't have maker rebates like on Bitmex, but this fee structure is not just for futures markets, but also for spot markets, and this is a bargain. The taker fees are, for someone trading less than 1 million every 30 days, the taker fees are 0.07 and maker fees are 0.02%. And if you compare that to the fees on some other major exchanges, Let's maybe start with Coinbase Pro. So you're paying 0.5%. That's 0.5% if you're not a big trader on every trade. That's an order of magnitude more than FTX is charging. Here we go with Bitstamp, also 0.5% for spot trades. This is massive fee. It's a bit more reasonable on Kraken, but it's still very high, and FTX is just way cheaper for spot trades. For futures trades, it's not that competitive. The full round trip trade on CoinFLEX will be 0.01%, sorry, 0.02% for the taker and 0 for the maker if you have enough CoinFLEX tokens. So they are more competitive in terms of the trading fees for futures, but the spot market has absolutely excellent trading fees. And there are some extra discounts if you hold the FTT token. The FTT token is a token closely related to the exchange. They have made it quite similar to the Bitfinex's Leo token, and until half of the whole FTT is burned, they will spend around 30% of the profits from the exchange burning it. And I believe by now they have burned around 6 million of FTX, which is $6 million worth of FTX, I believe. While Bitfinex has burned around 14 million, so Bitfinex is burning more. However, FTX is developing an exchange and expanding. FTX token burn. This token was probably a good buy at $0.8, maybe around $1, but at the moment at $2.5, I think it's a bit expensive, and I think I have missed the boat, so I wouldn't buy it now. They have listed on some Chinese exchanges, and at that point their token has pumped a lot. The problem with the value of their tokens is that not all of the tokens have been sold yet, so they might sell a lot of tokens, while on the other hand the Bitfinex's tokens are already sold, so there won't be any more sell pressure for Bitfinex token. So this is why I like Leo a bit more than FTT, but you know, a comparing FTX token buy at $1 and Leo token buy at $1, then FTX would be probably a better buy in hindsight. Obviously you look at the current price and you see that buying FTT was a better idea, but who knew at that point? Anyway, let's continue with the talk about the FTX. They now are selling equity at 1 billion valuation, which is massive. I think that the exchange is overvalued at $1 billion. They're only 9 months old, and well, they are just raising 15 million, but I wish them all the best, so hopefully they will be able to raise 15 million. They have some very unique products like shitcoin futures, shitcoin bull and bear tokens. I think their signature product are the bull and bear tokens, and I have to warn you about these tokens because I don't think you should be buying them. I actually think you should stay away from these tokens, which are becoming very popular and being now listed on exchanges like Binance. So first, it's hard not to notice that they have plenty of these different tokens. They are listing a lot of things, and as an exchange they have a matching engine, and it's easy for them to add all these tokens. The presidential election tokens are really good. They have gained them a lot of new customers. So the bull and bear tokens, what are they? They are 3x leverage tokens. They rebalance once every day. If it's a bull ETH token, they buy more at the rebalancing if it went up. If it's so let's say it's a bull ETH token. If ETH went up, the following day the contract rebalances by buying more ETH. If it goes down, the contract rebalances by selling ETH, and that introduces an unfortunate dynamic in these tokens, because on the way up you are buying and on the way down you are selling, while you might imagine that it's more profitable to buy on the way down and sell on the way up. And that makes this token excellent if something goes up in a straight line. So let's look at ETH bull token, and here we have it. ETH went up 2x in a short period of time, in around a month. So here we are in January, and the value of the token was 700, and it went up 2x, and the token actually went more than 3x. It's a 3x leverage token, but because ETH went up pretty much in a straight line, the value of the ETH bull token went up from 800 to 4,100, and that was excellent. However, it has now dumped, and on each move up and down, you guys are, the ETH bull contract, token holders are losing on every move up and down. So this token is excellent if something goes on the way up, but everything else is pretty bad. How can I prove this? Just look at this bull USD token. So this is a token that corresponds to the 3x daily return of Bitcoin. So here it looks like the price has gone down from $74,000 to $13,000. However, the Bitcoin price here in August was around 12,000 or around 10,000, while now it's again around 10,000, but it's worth several times less. That's because every move up, every move down, you're losing money because you're buying on the way up and selling on the way down. This is just the nature of the contract. This is preventing you from getting liquidated. So this token is supposed never to get liquidated. But the existence of this token is very profitable for the FTX exchange. The exchange is doing the rebalancing, and that means they are market buying and market selling the underlying token on their exchange. So they are market buying ETH and market selling ETH for you, and essentially, effectively, by holding this token, you are paying the taker fees for rebalancing of this token. So it's a big win for them. If you are paying the taker fee every day, then it's a big loss for you, and that's another reason why you shouldn't hold it. Overall, it can be useful for some people, but I think they are very expensive, and it's just better to go long or short on the perpetual swap or a futures contract. There is an extra 0.1% creation and redemption fee, and there is 0.03% per day management fee, which is more or less what you pay for being long on Bitmex. But if you are going short, you are still paying. So if you're buying a bear token, you are still paying this fee, while on Bitmex, if you short the swap, you would usually be paid 0.03%, sometimes much more. So what else about the exchange? What's great about the exchange is that there are no withdrawal fees, so they're withdrawing everything for you for free. So especially if you are a small punter and you are withdrawing a lot, then they will not charge you anything for that. So that's great. They are covering all your fees. I think this is a way of encouraging small punters to the exchange. Oh, and I have to mention the charity. So SBF has made tons of money, and he is a charitable person. He has recorded around 4 million of donations, so they are doing a lot of good things. I think the FTX exchange and the liquidity provision by Alameda Research is overall positive for a crypto. I would hazard a guess that if someone bombed Alameda Research facility and they've stopped operating, the crypto markets would become significantly more inefficient in a single day. I think they are doing a lot of this liquidity provision and a lot of capturing of these inefficiencies. And that's overall good for traders. They are getting more accurate prices. And that's essentially all. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. Please look at the links in the description below. You'll find the 5% discount code for FTX exchange.